Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Patricia Walls and this channel is Earth Woman. And I wanted to bring some alignments and activations to you today. And so if you can just relax and receive, and any thoughts, images, or feelings that you get, just say release. And to do this today, we're going to go to the Hall of Records. So if you will take a breath, release, and say out loud for me, take me to the Hall of Records. And then notice what you notice about the building. And if you're not seeing a building, just say to yourself, what would my Hall of Records look like? Even if you have to design it. And most of the time, people will see something right away. They just question what it is, because it could look like anything. From a building to a cave to just light. So make a mental note of what your Hall of Records, the outside of the building, looks like. And then notice how many ways of entrance you can see or perceive. And I say entrances because it's not always doors. And if there is a guard on the entrance, you will notice in your left hand there is an appropriate gift, an honoring of sorts, for this being who is guarding your Hall of Records for you. So offer it. And as you go into your Hall of Records, make a mental note of what does it look like inside. And very often it looks different on the inside than it does on the outside. So again, don't question what you're receiving. And if it's dark inside and you can't see anything, use your imagination to light it up. Install lights, candles, a skylight, whatever your imagination calls for. This is your place. And notice inside this place what your records are stored in. And we talk about the Hall of Records on other videos, and so I'm not going to cover that here. But just make a mental note, because it is significant, the symbolism. And if you don't already see it, create a chair or a sofa or a cushion, something really nice and comfortable that you can sit on. And as you're sitting there, I'm going to call for some activations for you. Activations and deactivations. And so what these do is they go through all of your soul history, all of your other lives, all of your parallel selves, all 950 billion years of your existence. And they remove negative programs and beliefs that were installed or adopted. And they replace those with positive ones. These activations will also shift your DNA, besides shifting your consciousness and your frequency. So most of the time when the activations are running, I will be quiet. Very often, the energy will identify itself. It'll give me a short identifying name or label for the energy, just so that you and I know what the feeling that you're having might be associated with, or the memories. And again, any memories, any feelings, just say release. And so let's begin. Pe anta hindu e alai heshel o koima. Ma dea nahi ete alai chikipe e o halomo. Dia woli pahanda induro uhi akalai. Shali heshe o hekia o ma'a. They're calling this first activation the realm of enlightenment. And I usually don't know or have an explanation for the name that they give it. But most of the time the name is self-identifying and clear. When the energy comes in, you may feel it similar to a vortex energy, a swirling energy, because it is going through your DNA, your energy fields, and it's removing negative beliefs and programs associated with the name or the identifier, and in this case, the realm of enlightenment. And while the energy is running, I'm just going to talk for a minute. When you consider the realm of enlightenment, many of us have lost our ability to be childlike and imaginative and creative. And the feeling is that this is removing those programs, beliefs, fears that were installed at some point that were keeping you from being creative and childlike, playful. The more childlike and playful and happy you are, the higher your frequency is. The higher your frequency, the more connected you are to Source and your higher guidance. And so this opens those channels for you. And I'll let you know whenever I feel that the energy has lessened and there's a new activation that's coming in. So for now, we're just going to stay with this one, and any thoughts, images, or feelings, just say release. Pehantai enenme ersto okolai. They are bringing in a new energy, and this one they're identifying it as 1,000 walks, as in walking 1,000 times. De ohele e ko omohicha andai. Ane alai e shela o ko imbiki imbabaye dai enene uhi pa. Jele ento kolui maapa. Me ohendai enene ukui la'a. The energy that's coming in now, they're identifying it as crystal mandalas. And for those of you that work with crystals, you know that they serve many purposes. Feels as though it's an installation, not so much a deactivation or activation, but an installation of crystal mandalas in your energy fields to clear and to magnify, whichever one is required. And they're telling me that it's also about regenerating cellular DNA. Clearing, cleaning, and regenerating cellular DNA. So it's not even what I thought it was about. He ahindai ananum ohikili esto o lehendai nono oi mama. Te oile ke o kalabaya de endo o homo ea. Chumi anta hinda eli. Koile hembia amamo inta. They're also talking about crystalline structures, reinforcing your energetic body. Removing any distortions. Remember to release any thoughts, images, or feelings. This next activation they're identifying as saints and martyrs. So it's removing, releasing any negative programs, beliefs. In the case of being in the Hall of Records, also any contracts, agreements, promises, or blood oaths that you have in the way of sainthood or martyrdom. Huele ahangai eme undi handuru I te wohleba est okoleba inano u perera ahia taile eko lebe ke oko maa tui he mesht uleke ento. Just relax, receive, and release. This next activation that they're identifying as fear and faith. So you might notice there are a lot of polarity activations, deactivations that they are bringing in today. Fear and faith. And however that relates to you and what's happening with you now. Te oke o lehebe umia hashitere o hulike abi I ko ndibia na me achele e chiki o ko umbibi eshte o la enta. Release. She me inki o libi eto onda hamba. Ne wili abage akadebe e. Aye he shela oko ngibe inti iwama. It may seem as though these activations are going fast, but in actuality they are coming in with grace and ease exactly as they should. And it can take up to 6 weeks for for them to actually unwind old programs and bring in new, higher frequencies, higher understandings, connections, alignments. Penimihin to koli ashea la humpa bahet di e kulu umaa. Release. This next one, the energy that they're bringing in is of the great central sun. So it's not so much a deactivation, it's just an alignment with the energy and the healing of the great central sun. So there is our solar sun that is connected to planet Earth, that is experiencing solar flares. The great central sun is beyond that, the sun that we can see from our current third dimensional reality. And so with the great central sun, there are no distortions, no misalignments. It is pure source energy. So receive the light codes from the great central sun, the alignments, the healing. Allow it to correct any vitamin deficiencies. Eliento ko I mahasha liento uma. Te oki apai ebebo undai. Ne chilahiatai eke oko omama ea. Release. The great central sun is also burning away any energies that aren't serving you any longer, and energies in the form of emotions, physical, emotional, spiritual, mental. And the last thing that they want to do while we're here in this sacred place of your Hall of Records is to intend that you are unplugged, and law of free will says you have to agree to any of this. You have to agree to the activations, the deactivations, the healings, the alignments, the expansion. And in that way, we'd like to intend that you are unplugged from the collective unconsciousness. And if you are in agreement with that, just intend that that is done for you. Pe aham bahiendi alayeshta okoe. And for those that need an explanation as to what the collective unconsciousness is, there is the collective consciousness because we are all connected. We all come from the same source, the same one source. And so there is a collective consciousness that we are part of. And then there's the collective unconsciousness, the unconscious part of us that sits in fear programs, resentment, anger, depression, judgment, suspicion. All of the negative programs are in the collective unconsciousness, and we very often are connected with that unconsciously. And disconnecting from the collective unconsciousness brings you fresh awareness, clear thinking. Pe unki alahi antu aname ento lare li e shukolama. Na yehete alahi ku koeba. Va yeche elepeke oto undi hindi mawai. Ale ache alaki ilko onko ime am. Ma be bebe ehetu ole akaye pepe oetadai. Now begin to notice in this place, your sacred place called the Hall of Records. When you first went in, I asked you to make a note of what it looked like. And what does it look like now? How has it shifted? Because your Hall of Records is inside of you. It is the sacred space inside of you. And it is representative of your current state of beingness, your current state of consciousness, awareness, your health, mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual. And so what do you notice now about your Hall of Records? Is it brighter? Does it feel lighter? Lighter in energy? How does your body feel? How does your heart feel? And so now begin to come back into your current third dimensional reality. You can always return to your Hall of Records. And as you come back to your everyday third dimensional reality, you can open your eyes And notice what you notice about the room that you're in. Very often people say that it's brighter, that they can see clearer, they can breathe better, they feel relaxed, rejuvenated. I would love to get some feedback. And so there is a contact information for me, I believe, on the channel header. Thank you for joining me, and please check back for more videos.